away my country people. Not be small thing o, make una carry una joko take sit down come lis ten to this man of God, my people. As I cross this update, I was chocked lights. I say may he kaba only my ear no fit hear this one finish o. Not be small thing o, as this man of God then narrate story about Nigeria pastor, my people. The thing choke me. Not be small thing. He say in and from South Africa, he travel for go Nigeria, go acquire power, my people. Not be small thing o. He say all this prophecy when some African Nigeria pastor they do, say not be ordinary hand though. Say not be ordinary hand. Say that they go they bath, my people. Not be small thing o. He say even the oil when they use, all this prophesy of a 10, say not be ordinary hand though. Say he get God, another God when they serve, not be the main God, my people. Not be small thing. This man of God talk. As I cross this one, I say what is this? Not be small thing. May not come be say I too talk for inside this video. Make una watch where for the talker, my people.
Did not symbolize the power of God. Then from then I saw that it was working. They also gave me some oils to use, you know, the oil that you open and you talk anything that you want. Those were the kind of things that I used before I went to Nigeria. And the time came so that I can travel to Nigeria. I took all my savings because I had to pay for also the one who was taking me there, because this is the pastor who come from there, and he was taking me to the occult. This is more of a family setup of pastors, preachers, prophets from all over the world, where they come and that is where they get their powers from. And the following morning we had to go into this village, and when we went into that village, that is where I was introduced to what they call the Ifa. Now Ifa is more of a religion in Nigeria where they worship Ifa as a god. This is a spirit or a demon, I will call it, that they worship there. Now when we got there, we consulted the Ifa priest. They call them the Ifa priest. Now the Ifa priest did some incantation, and he was able to predict certain things upon my life, and that is why I was convinced and said, this man, he's going to help me. Then from then they did the ritual. They told me that there are things that I must buy, the goat, the chicken, the fowl, and other stuff to make the covenant. And that is where they took me into the boiling drum, where it was on fire, filled with water, to the boiling point. As the steam was coming out, I saw the steam, I touched the steam. From then they took me and they put me inside that boiling drum. But suddenly when I touched the water, it was cold. They closed it and they did some incantation. From then they took me into several gods, the god of thunder. That is the reason why when people every time they talk in the church and they speak about the God of thunder, you'll hear the prophet shouting the God of thunder. I know what they are talking about, because this is not the God of heaven. Now the God of thunder is the one that when you do your sacrifice on it, it is where you are saying that everything that your enemy have sent to you, it must go back to sender. So that was the kind of ritual where I had to do all those things and say back to sender. So every time when you hear such kind of prayers where somebody is shouting and say back to sender, ask yourself, where in the Bible, which verse in the Bible, which teachings in the Bible does that kind of doctrine stand on? Because the back to sender are usually practiced by occultic people. That was the god of thunder. Then we went to the god of iron. Now when we went to the god of iron, that is where they sacrificed a dog. That is the reason when I see these people eating dog and in a church, I know that this is what has been sacrificed to the god of iron. They sacrificed the god of iron with a dog, and I had to eat dog by that time. I even wrote about it, this part. Now from then we went to the water spirit, where it was a river, where I had to take some cowries, some seashells that I had to speak to. The other one I had to carry it wherever I go and put it on my shrine back at home. Now traveling back to South Africa, they said the first thing that I need to do before I go to church, I need to go to the river, the stream river around Soshanguve. That is where the church was. So I had to introduce the spirits from Nigeria with the spirits of the place in the stream. So I went to the stream, I spoke, and I said, I want these spirits to help me to fill the church. They gave me also the head of a pig that I had to bury inside the church. And we buried it. And guess what? Within a period of less than a month, we saw a lot of people coming into the church, because they told me that when the pig starts to rot, the worms that are coming out of the pigs, the worms that will be, it will be the number of people coming to church. You can ask anybody around social movement, they will tell you that on a Sunday morning, it was traffic going to our church. On the road, you will see people wearing white. It was traffic going to the church. So I knew deep in my heart and said, these people, they are not here for the word of God, but they are here brought by all these kind of powers. Because one of the signs to see if people are not here by the word of God is because they don't need the word of God. They need miracles and prophecy. When you preach the gospel, they sleep. That is the reason why during that time I did not invite any preacher. It was me only. I will make sure that I don't contradict my gospel, because my preaching was not about Christ, but my preaching was about miracles and healing. And the moment I stand to say, can I prophesy? Yeah, guess what happens? The whole place shakes. Everybody stands up and says, prophesy. But when you teach the word of God, they sleep. But when you say, can I prophesy? They all stand. And because this is what the spirits have brought them to. So don't be fooled when you see crowd, people filled in the place. Ask yourself, what are they looking for? Then you will know if they are of God. Because a lot of people filling the stadiums, filling the arena, filling the overflow, they are there for prophecy and miracles. And the devil can give prophecy. In the book of Acts, you remember about the young woman who was using the python spirit. She was predicting, prophesying, using a wrong spirit. And she came to the apostles and they rebuked him. A lot of Christians are filling the chairs where they are hooked up with spiritual principalities. And this is what I did. And by that time, they told me, you need to stop what you were doing. I had several offices where I was now consulting. For people to come and see me, they had to pay a certain money for consultation. And the reason why they had to pay, it was because the money I will take and I will put it to the altar. That is the reason why you need to be careful where you take your money to. They will give me money for consultation and I will put it on those gods, those spirits. The money has to sleep there so that the person who has given the money will keep on giving. That is the reason why people who are under occultic, everything they think is to give into that particular church, because you are giving to that altar. And I had offices, I was selling oil, I was selling water, I was selling candles, anything that I will think of or anything that I will see in the Bible crossing. If it's oil, I will bring it as a doctrine. If it was water, I will bring it as a doctrine. So those were the kind of things that I was doing to generate more money. And I remember one day when the policemen came and they said, we are arresting you because of mutilation. Remember, during that time in Social Movement, there were a lot of cases where